Welcome to another edition of the Goal Post. I'm your host, Oluwamayowa. It's an interesting weekend of football. We had a whole lot happen over the weekend. Arsenal losing scandalously to Bournemouth, practically throwing away the almost throwing away the title, and Man City winning. We also have Liverpool winning, and Tottenham seems not to be able to get their rhythm. I'm not alone to dive into this. I have the usual suspects. I have Collins and Solomon joining me this morning. Collins, good morning. How are you doing? Yeah,
Good
how are
morning,
you
Mr.
doing, Collins?
Solomon. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Mayowa. I'm
Yeah,
doing
good
good,
morning.
thank
How are you
you.
doing? Yeah, Solomon, how are you doing this morning? Good morning.
Oh, Mr. Mayowa, good morning. Collins, good morning. Good to see you again. I'm very well, thank
Yeah,
you.
good to see you.
Okay, well, let's dive into it. I mean, the biggest game over the weekend was the game between Bournemouth and Arsenal. The game has a whole lot of ramification, and for the life of me, I do not understand the reason why Arsenal would lose a game at that particular critical moment. The only thing Arsenal needed was to win all their games and ensure that, they win all their games and they will be home dry. Collins, what happened in that particular game?
I feel like what happened in that particular game was the obvious. Arsenal towards the end of the season, they always fall. The popular saying, elephant on the tree. You understand? It's that time again, you understand, where the usual things that are supposed to happen when it comes to Arsenal do happen. You understand? Second place finish, trophyless, and everything like that. You understand? We've seen them exited to competition already. You understand? The only two left, they are bottling it. You understand? So it's nothing much. It's just nature repeating itself. Just event that have happened before happening again. You understand? Recurring events. You get. And also, I mentioned something about Arsenal because Arsenal is a team that can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can you hear it clearly?
All right. I mentioned something about Arsenal dealing with this emotional aspect of their game. You understand? That is also catching up to them too. You understand? That is catching up to them because right now they are like a whole lot of pressure is on them. You understand? To deliver. The whole footballing world is looking at them, looking at what are they going to do. You get? It's up to them. How can they handle the pressure? Because this will be Ateta's fifth season, right? Where he's going to. I mean, every season Ateta comes into the Premier League, we are expecting him to outdo season. You get? And this season it has not been bad. You understand? Except these disappointing losses, back-to-back losses in these cup competitions, and that's terrible. You understand? So whatever praises we'll be singing of him, everything just died down because if at all, those trophies are the easiest to win. You should have won them, right? You should have still been in those competitions. But seeing that he has left the easy competitions, you understand, from quadruple to quadri. I mean, when it was still three, they were saying treble, 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 treble. Now from treble to treble, it's just two now. You understand? It's just two. So um Ateta once again is looking like he's going to underperform. You understand? Especially if they there's a scenario where they be on the same points with Man City, and that's not a good look. I'm telling you, if Arsenal be on the same points with Man City at the end of the season, they are always this hungry lion. Arsenal are the complete opposites. Towards the end of the season, they are two different things. Do you understand? And it's looking like Pep Guardiola have figured out Arsenal, and that's trouble, right? They are playing next week. They are playing next week, and it's not going to be funny. It's not going to be funny because once Man City wins that and win Burnley, you understand? I think they have a much higher. I think they have higher goal difference. I think or uh
No,
almost the same thing, but
Arsenal has a higher
Arsenal
goal
have more
difference. They have plus three.
plus three. Plus three is nothing. Plus three is not even much. I was maybe expecting plus nine or plus. What is plus three? You understand? They can face Burnley five and give Arsenal two. That plus three have disappeared. You understand? So Arsenal are just being Arsenal. Nothing happens to them. They are battling their emotional problem. And this is just Arsenal being Arsenal. You understand?
Okay,
Everybody's
okay,
trolling them.
okay, and that's fantastic. Let me go to Solomon. I mean, Solomon, I know this is not what you expected. The last time we were here, you expect something different, and now we are seeing it. What actually went wrong in that particular game? What went wrong, Solomon?
Okay, so over time, the double pivot of Zubimendi and Declan Rice doesn't seem to work anymore. So at this point in time, we need a change in strategy, and for that change in strategy to actually work, we need our players back. Bukayo Saka has to be back. Jurien Timber has to come back. You know, Odegaard has to come back, because if you watched that game, Bournemouth were much more intense in terms of their pressing, and because they were much more intense in the way that they pressed, no one was going to receive the ball. This is where we miss Odegaard, right? Odegaard is that one player that is willing to take on the responsibility to come back, get the ball from Raya, and string the passes up front. Zubimendi does not do that. Zubimendi literally hides, right? We saw it in the Carabao Cup final, where we had Doku, Semenyo, Anland, and Cheki all up front, pressing down on Kepa, and there's nobody willing to come and collect the ball. The presence of Odegaard makes all the difference, right? It makes all the difference. Now, funnily enough, prior to our match against Bournemouth, I genuinely do not know what made me check out our statistics in the month of April. I do not know. I just decided to go over last 2 season, and we actually do not have a good run in April, right? Especially in the Premier League, we do not exactly have a good run in April. But last season we were able to defeat Madrid in April. That's a good one, right? But then again, in terms of the Premier League, we drop points a lot in the month of April. And considering the fact that Mikel Arteta was the Premier League manager of the month, some people say there's a curse that's following that.
Well, that's true. That's true. So a lot of people have been saying that.
Award. Right. I just think, as I said, that we need a change of strategy. And funnily enough, Manchester City will still come out with a high press. Check out the recent matches. Ever since they succeeded in that high press against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final, all of their matches now, they are going high press. 4 players up front. All 4 of them are giving you high press. And that's why I said we need our players back. We need a change of strategy. Check out Zubimendi. This is one of the moments as well that we need a Merino. Someone
True.
that can hold the
True.
play. This is one of the moments when we need Merino. He can. Merino will slow down the pace of the game. You won't need all those intensity that you are doing. Merino will not help you to do all of that, right? But then every of the other players that are available, as Mikel Arteta has already said in his press conference, they need to up their game as well. For instance, in the match against Southampton, tell me why Gabriel Jesus, a Premier League winner, not once, not twice, cannot step up against a Southampton side. It's terrible.
True.
It's terrible. And that's why we're saying that we need these players to not just step up, but we also need our other players who are injured to come in. And Collins mentioned something very important in terms of the emotions. City fans are trolling us now. Chelsea fans are trolling us now. Liverpool fans are trolling us now. Even Madrid and Barcelona fans that are not even in the English Premier League, they're trolling us now, right? And of course, you know that because of the way social media is built now, there's an intensity in terms of the mentality, the psychology, the emotional state of the players. Again, they just really need to block out all of those noise, block out all of that, block out, try as much as possible to ensure that in this season you are not even on social media at all. Because take for instance, look at what happened in that match against Chelsea yesterday. I'm sorry that we are delving into that now, but look at what happened in that match, Man City Chelsea yesterday. You see a Man City fan taking a bottle of Arsenal into his mouth. Come on, you do not see something like that as a player, and it does not affect you. It
Yeah, that's
will
true.
affect. It will affect you. So this is the time where Ateta wants to ensure that the boys block out all of that noise. Take it one game at a time. However, the match that we are going to be having against City in the weekend is I won't lie, it's scary. It's scary now because City have the whole week to rest.
True.
City have the whole week to rest. We have a very, very important match against Sporting, a very brilliant side, right? It means that we do not have the adequate time to rest as City would. And now City has the higher motivation in terms of they've won their last run of fixtures. They defeated Arsenal, they defeated Liverpool, now they've defeated Chelsea. Beat up teams. So I mean, what other motivation do you need other than the wins, right? When Arsenal are able to get a result against Sporting, I believe that that is going to be a huge boost for them as well, going into the match against City in the weekend. So, as I said, to to summarize everything I've said, we need a change of strategy. We need the players to up their games, and we need to ensure that other players that are injured get back as soon as possible. Thankfully, Eberechi Eze is back. I mean, he had a cameo against Bournemouth, and we believe that in the next round of fixtures, it will be very, very important to the team.
Okay, that's fantastic. Collins, I will go back to you. I mean, one of the things that Solomon said is as regards the mentality of those players. And you mentioned it, you were the first person to mention it on this show, that the mental capability matters in this kind of stage, at this stage. And rightfully said by Solomon, the month of April has been a bit disastrous for them. If you look at the way they lost the league, I think is it 2 seasons ago or last 2 seasons, is it last season or 2 seasons ago, where they lost to Aston Villa, where they drew to Aston Villa, and that practically handed the league to Man City. It happened in April. Is it more of the players not stepping up, or is it more of the players themselves? They don't have the mental capability to go forward because I mean, Ateta has been there for almost 6 years now, and if he ends up, as second again, this will be the third time in a row that he's ending up as second. Don't you think it's more of, he has gotten to the level where he can get to. He can't take them further. Sorry, I'm digressing. If you look at the England situation, Southgate got them to finals, but he couldn't win the finals. And that was the reason why they had to change him. It's the same thing happening to Ateta, Collins.
Um, let's look at Arsenal squad. You understand? They have David Raya at goal. They have their defense is Saliba and Gabriel. They have Lewis Kelly. I don't know if you know that his name.
Lewis Kelly.
Um, at left back, yeah, they have Ben White at right back. They have Zubimendi and Declan Rice, the double pivots. They have Noni Madueke, ex Chelsea flop. You understand? They have Kaev Advert at they played Advert yesterday, right? At an AM. They have Gabriel Martinelli, and they have this the Swedish machine, Victor Gyökeres
Odegaard.
in
Okay,
front.
Bucharest. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about the squad that played yesterday, and you didn't know. Um, other guard, Saka. Look at that squad. That squad is, I don't know. When you are talking of mentality, you get the only person in that squad that have won something notable is Declan Rice with West Ham before he came to Arsenal.
Kai Havertz won a Champions League with Chelsea.
Yeah, thank God you mentioned Chelsea. It's good as you mentioned Chelsea. You understand? But the
We are
point here
getting
is that
we are getting
the point here is that
Gabriel
huh?
Jesus too. Gabriel Jesus too won the champion,
we are
won the
getting
EPL
there.
too.
We are getting there. We are getting there. We are getting there. Gabriel Jesus has also
Wait,
won the Premier League with Man City.
so, okay, you can say that all these things that when it comes to mentality, but when it comes to mentality, this Arsenal squad is just they're not bunch of primary five children put together, and let's say they just Ateta just fill them with this motivation. We can do it. You know, Ateta tells his team every match every match before every match we can do it. You understand? There's a popular meme about Ateta that is always circulating anytime Arsenal loses. You understand? That play where he carry light bulb and he was like illustrating that maybe they are the light of the world, a city settle. I don't know what he was doing, whether he was preaching to them. You understand? And the mentality is not there. You get you cannot be you cannot be having this near success syndrome every season, every season, every season. And This season is looking like the same thing. If it happens this season, if it happens, I mean, all of us have come to the conclusion. You understand? Not Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans are in their own world. They believe in those. They are sometimes they can be really delusional. Let's be very honest. You understand? The rest of us are still clearly. You understand? We've seen the truth about Arsenal. You understand? We've seen the truth about Arsenal. That's why we can call it. You understand? The rest of the world cannot be wrong about a particular team. It's not possible. You understand? At least
Mm,
some secluded parts,
mm,
some secluded parts should what should how should I put it? Should argue against the fact that Arsenal is not this. But nobody's arguing against the fact that Arsenal is not this. All fan bases, you cannot tell me that all fan bases have an agenda against you. That's the truth. But Arsenal fans don't want to see it because I mean they believe in their squad, they believe in Arteta. And let's hope this season is different. But so far so good, it's not looking good. Arsenal, their mental pray for Arsenal player mental health because after that match against Bournemouth, did you see how broken they were? I almost felt sorry for Gabriel, but the wickedness in me did not allow me to feel sorry finish. You understand? Because I never, I never liked. You understand? But so the thing about Gabriel is that the thing about this Arsenal side is that in as much as they sometimes they play well, they play really well. But when it comes to the big boys team, when it comes to shutting out the outside noise, you understand? Outside noise meaning social media. Arsenal players have social media presence. During that before every match, they will come on Twitter and put Bible verse. Gabriel after a match, we go. All of them are so just seeing all these things and it's getting to them. That's one aspect they need to deal with. You get the trolls are too much, the mockery is too much, everything is too much. You understand? That's a lot to handle. And their players don't have the mental capacity to handle it. In as much as they are professional footballers, fine. But they professionalizing also have to deal with it here. That's also have to do with your how you handle things up here. And they are starting players for that, not this Arsenal squad. The only player in Arsenal squad that I know that maybe can handle some those pressure is Kai Havertz, former Chelsea guy, because he suffered what at Chelsea. Chelsea trolled him, everybody trolled him because of how much you got him from Leverkusen. You understand? And he handled it well. He scored a winning Champions League goal. And that was a morale booster for him. So if there's anybody in Arsenal squad that can show that he can handle and still play in adversity is Kai Havertz and nobody else. And that's one thing. That's one thing that's the problem. That's one thing that should be addressed. But I'm
Okay.
telling you that one last thing, if Arsenal can overcome this season, because right now the trolls are going to get times two, they are going to get harder, they are going to get more brutal. And if Arsenal can manage, if Arteta can rally his boys, you understand, improve them, you understand, coach them towards ignoring outside noise, focusing on each match day, taking each match step by step, and they overcome. You understand? Maybe win the Premier League and probably win the Champions League because the record in the Champions League is still flawless, and that's a good thing. You understand? Win these two trophies. You understand? That's when this mentality starts to grow. You understand? Arsenal go from being from the five boys to being master's degree holder overnight. That's not the truth. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
okay. Quick one.
Yes. Solomon,
Yes.
yeah. Before you respond, I just want to put this in there. You
Okay.
can now respond together. Don't you think? I'm sorry, I would digress a bit. When Luke Shaw came back from injury, he needed an outside help psychologically to be able to get over the line and regain his form. Right? We saw the same thing happen to Marcus Rashford when he had that long time injury. Don't you think that should be applied to the Chelsea players? Because the same thing cannot be happening consecutively, and you don't think there is a need for maybe a psychological help. I don't think it's about the football. I think it's about something. I think they need something outside football. Or don't you see it that way, Solomon?
Well, I wouldn't deny the fact that of course there's some form of psychological evaluation that will happen. Let me digress a bit. So in the 2014 World Cup, 2014 World Cup, where Brazil were the host of the 24. Was it the 2014 World Cup? Yeah, 2014 World
2014,
Cup.
yeah.
Mhm. Prior to that match against Germany, prior to the match against Germany, they lost Neymar to injury and they lost Thiago Silva to a double yellow card, so he missed that match. Now, Jose Mourinho had said prior to that match that losing Thiago Silva was much more detrimental to their success than the loss of Neymar. I watched a documentary of the whole World Cup, and in particular, a psychological doctor, I think he's a psychiatrist. He said that you could tell from the beginning of the match that Brazil were going to lose, and they were going to lose because when they were going to sing their national anthem, you saw the way all the players were emotional. They were, their eyes, a lot of them, their eyes were shut while they were reciting their national anthem. The old fans, you could tell that you could just tell from the way the attitude, the way their disposition, that their psychology was not just they were not in the right state of mind psychologically. And yet I just said all of that to say that we Arsenal, but I just want to believe that with Arsenal, they have the best of doctors, they have the best of staff that are working tirelessly to ensure that everyone is good. And we can tell from the assistant coaches, Mikel Arteta is not a one-man coach. You can tell. He has Nicolas Jova, who is one of the best set-piece coaches. He does not work. You have Gabriel Heinz. He brought in Gabriel Heinz to work with the defense. You can tell even from the touchline that these other coaches are also very, very important to the team. The person of Carlos Cuesta now, he has gone to this team in Italy, and he's doing very well. So you cannot say that Arsenal do not have the best of hands ready to help the team, right? I believe that they are doing their best possible to ensure that the players are in the best state of mind to get to the end. And as I said, I quickly want to address what Colin said about Arsenal fans being delusional. A team that lost 3 matches in 49 matches, as over the first English team to have over 100 goals, went through the UEFA Champions League phase, unscathed, defeating Bayern, defeating Inter, defeating Atletico Madrid, right? Have a better set of clean sheets than any other team in the league, and you say that they are delusional. How in heaven's name are they delusional? What else do you want their okay, so with all of these things now, do you expect the fans to say, oh, we don't believe in our team, or oh, we do not see our team going all the way? I genuinely do not understand when we say that the fans are delusional. There are statistics to show for it. The only reason why we are having a conversation about whether or not Arsenal can go all the way is because of the obviously recent run of forms. Now, in terms of mindset, there's a Gyökeres that has won the league back to back with Sporting. I mean, over 90 goals, took them all the way. And you can tell in his disposition, you can tell how hungry he is to win the league, right? Now, that is why I said that in our previous shows, I have maintained that the Carabao Cup final was very, very, very important. Arsenal winning that Carabao Cup would have, shown the players that indeed we can go all the way, right? That indeed we have the mental strength, we have the mental capacity to take on whatever that is thrown at us, and we can indeed win trophies. And now that that has not exactly happened, obviously it's going to be much more difficult to go all the way. Yes, I maintain that Arsenal players have the quality. Arsenal players have all that it takes. Mikel Arteta can take Arsenal to the promised land. Is it questionable now? Yes. Of course, it is questionable. It's questionable. But then again, I believe that the players want it more than any other person right now. They know what is at stake, right? They know what is at stake. This is literally just history repeating itself. Prior to the invisible zone, Arsene Wenger also wants to keep it in second position, right? And now Mikel Arteta is doing the same thing. And I believe that Arsenal still has all that it takes to go all the way. I do not in any way see how, Man City will entirely be flawless to the end of the season. And by flawless, I mean that they might not necessarily lose, but they will drop points. And that's all we need, right? We don't need them to lose exactly. We just need them to do what? To drop points as well. If a particular team cannot do it because they are useless, I mean, If they could not even try as much as possible to defend their integrity at home, that's up to them. I'm thankful that they did not even do it, so that nobody will say that I'm thankful that they did not do it. Yes, I'm thankful that they did not do it, so that nobody will say, I'm serious, so that nobody will say they helped Arsenal to win the league.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
when we won the league,
Okay,
we won it by ourselves, for ourselves. Nobody
okay.
helped us to win the league. Thank you.
Okay, that's that's very interesting. I mean, Solomon is very correct. If Arsenal ends up winning the league, it will be the fact that Arsenal did it themselves. But I mean, we have dwelled a whole lot on the Arsenal issue. Just one last thing, Collins, do you think Arsenal would win the league at the end of the day?
I just love the fact that um Solomon said if. You understand? He didn't say Arsenal will win the league. He said if Arsenal win the league. So the word if there is just was sweet to me because if is a very powerful statement. Considering everything, no, I don't think Arsenal will win the league. I really don't think Arsenal will win the league because Man City have Man City are not in the Champions League. So let me say they have nothing to lose. They are not focused on the Premier League. You understand? You understand? I think they are as Man City are gingered right now. They are. I need you guys to understand the kind of fire Man City plays with now. You understand? So I don't see Arsenal winning the league. One is motivated and one is unmotivated. You understand? So that's the difference between that's what the like Slomo said, that's what that Carabao Cup did, that Carabao Final Cup did. You understand? It's changed their mentality. Man City saw that yes, these guys are not unbeatable. Pep Guardiola found a way to neutralize Arsenal. You understand? He found a way to neutralize Arsenal. And we won with a clean sheet. So that is a morale booster. That's to show that we can actually go all the way. What was I doing since? And Pep Guardiola, for God's sake. You understand? Nobody really can chat with me. I'm very sure that's what was going through his head when he won Arsenal. And we can see the results. He's just beating things up and down. He gave Liverpool 4-0 at how many 0? So why are people surprised he gave Chelsea 3-0? He's beating all the top teams in the way. He just beat Liverpool, beat Arsenal, and beat Chelsea. Who is
Because you
on his
people are
way
not good
again?
now. Because you people
Did
are
he
not
not
good.
beat you? Did he
Because
not
you
beat
people
you in the final? Did he
are
not beat you? He beat
because
Arsenal in the final.
not good now.
And you
That's
see,
why he's beating
he
you
beat
people 3
Arsenal.
0,
He
4
didn't,
0. People are not
see,
good. If you were
he
good
didn't
enough,
start.
come on now.
He started this winning streak with you guys in the final. He started this winning streak with Arsenal, which are supposed to be the number one team in the world. He started this winning streak with you. So you open the way for us. We are just copying you. We are following you, our bosses. Arsenal
Why
like this
can't you
now.
follow us to win? Why can't you follow us to win matches? He started the winning streak with us, no
No,
problem. He will
see,
end.
bad
He started
behavior.
the winning streak
Bad
with us, no
behavior is
problem.
easier to
In the
emulate.
weekend,
Bad behavior is
in the
easier to
weekend,
emulate.
by the
Coach me
weekend,
anywhere.
he will end
Coach me
the
anywhere. Bad
he started
behavior.
the winning streak with us, don't worry.
Bad
This weekend,
behavior is
we
easier
are
to
going to
emulate.
end
I
that
don't
winning
know.
streak as well. That's fine. This weekend, we are ending that winning
You
streak.
beat
He started the winning streak
you
with
beat
us,
Man
right?
City at Etihad.
Yes, we will.
You beat this Man City at Etihad
Yes,
Stadium.
Why
Is that
it's
what
a
you're
yes, we
saying?
will.
possibility. It's a
Mr.
possibility.
Maiwa,
Why not?
Wow.
take
But
note of
yes,
it. We are winning. We are defeating Man City at the Etihad come Sunday. You can quote me anywhere. We are
if
defeating
that
Man City.
Okay.
if that happens, then it means Arsenal wins the league.
It
However,
means exactly. Yeah, I would agree with that. If that happens, Arsenal wins the league. But I don't see that happening. Yeah, till then, that will be a very interesting, match. Let me just get my popcorn ready. I now have a lot of laugh to laugh that day because, and I'll be laughing at one team, which and that team is in London. So let's see to that.
okay, let's move over. I mean, we saw what happened between Chelsea and Man City yesterday. For the life of me, the first half was a bit watchable. Second half was unwatchable. A whole lot of people would expect Chelsea to show up. They were playing at home under Liam Rosnell. They posed no opposition. And yes, I understand a whole lot of Chelsea fans are saying they preferred they lost because they don't want Arsenal to win and the rest of that. Banters aside, I think it's fair enough that you would expect your team to show up at home. Um, I know Solomon, you followed that particular game because of the vested interest in that particular game. What do you make of that particular game, Solomon?
Okay, so funnily enough, I was not even present at the viewing center where I would normally watch the match. So I used my ad-end data, you know, to stream the match. For the first time ever, Mikel Arteta made me support such utterly useless and absolutely ridiculous team.
Yeah,
Right? Now, yes,
yeah,
now, yes, the thing. I now watched the first
yeah.
half. I watched the first half. I'm like, okay, you know, you tried as much as possible. You kept City at bay, even with the intensity. Funnily enough, Sanchez did not even put a foot wrong. Sanchez, that
True.
would normally be the ones to commit the silly errors and all of those things, even with the intensity of the press, he kept his cool, was good, right, in the first half. Tell me why in the second half, and this is where I would fault um, Liam
Rosinha.
Rosinho. Sorry, the name that came to mind was Liam Achebe. Somebody said he's always writing. Somebody said he's always writing. Right? So, this is what I'm going to fault him. Estival was not in that match at all.
True.
After the yellow card, that boy could not even, he could not, he did not have anything against Nico O'Reilly. Also, he could not even come back to track back, because if he does, he was on the cusp of getting another yellow, which would obviously lead to a red card. It was Cole Palmer that came back to do the defending against a Doku that is electric, right? If he had put on, if he had taken out Esteval as the second half was about to start, he brought on as he did just yesterday. He brought on a Liam Delap and a Garnacho, switched Garnacho and Neto. Neto obviously has much more intensity and much more aggressiveness than what's it called? Than Esteval. He would have blocked, the defense line in terms of allowing Doku to be electric on that flank. But he did not do that, right? It was after 2-0 down that he started doing the substitution. Those are the fine margins that make all the difference. Those are the
True.
fine margins that make all the difference. Another thing is, when you get your chance, convert your chance. See,
Very
at this
important.
point in time, Mikel Arteta, he will tell you, it's always a game of fine margins. People were saying that Arsenal had 3 shots on target against what's it called? Against
Bournemouth.
Southampton. Against Bournemouth, rather. Against Bournemouth. Please, if we scored all 3 goals on target, please, what else are we looking for?
Well, that's true. You would have
What
won.
else are we looking for? If Chelsea had converted the little margin of chances that they saw in the first half, come on. Even in the second half, Joao Pedro had an header that was similar to the Nico O'Reilly header, and he still did not convert.
True. Very true.
Right? All you need to do is look at Man City, for instance. In the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal, they scored 2 goals in 5 minutes. Those were the 2 clear chances that they had in that match,
That's true. You're very correct.
and they converted. A same thing happened yesterday in the second half. The first 2 chances, or the first very good chances, okay, well, there was a Rancheki shot that was deflected, but the moment they saw the chances, they converted, and that's all you need in football. You convert your chances and you make do with what you have, right? But that did not happen with Chelsea yesterday, and again, it just tells of the lack of brilliance that is in the team overall, especially with someone like Pedro Neto up front. To be honest, I don't know, Pedro Neto, Martinelli, those guys, they need to just do something with those set of players. They do not offer you so much upfront. They do not offer you so much upfront, and you're wondering, how are you bought at such a ridiculous price and you are not even delivering upfront, because you have a Cole Palmer who is trying as much as possible to to string passes together, but there's nobody up front that is ready to get the ball and just create as much as Kopama is trying to do in the middle of the park. So I don't know. They were just not brilliant in the second half. They did their very best in the first half, which was very good. I mean, they were able to hold up 0-0. But then again, they were not able to hold up. They were not brilliant in the second half, especially with the way the crosses were coming in.
We're
I
coming
mean,
in.
even
Yeah.
the
True.
commentator said it that Man City needed to cross the ball into the box. Man City needed to cross the ball into the box. And the very first cross that they made,
O'Reilly.
the very first one that they made led to a goal. So I mean, again, Chelsea were just not brilliant in the second half. Obviously, the more brilliant side won the match. The team that wanted it even more. And it's quite surprising that Chelsea fans are even celebrating the win. Bro, you're going to a conference league where you belong to. It's I don't understand. This is giving Tottenham Pro Max. Tottenham Pro Max. Tottenham fans did this. Now we know where they are. Don't worry, your time is coming. You are celebrating. It's fine. Celebrate all you want. That how can your team be losing and you are celebrating that your team is losing? That's why I say that there is no shame. The team
Solomon,
is losing. The fans,
I,
the same thing. No shame.
I have a confession. I have a confession. Yesterday, myself and colleagues were texting back and forth. He was so happy
Okay.
that Chelsea lost. Even before
Yes.
the game, he said Chelsea will lose. He was confident in saying
He's
Chelsea
not
will
the only
lose.
one. No. He's not the only one. He's not the only one. The moment the funny thing is, the moment I posted about that match on my status, guess who replied? Chelsea fans, all of them. All of them were Chelsea fans. All of them were Chelsea fans. And they were so happy. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Mawa, we talked about this Tottenham situation where we said
Yeah,
that the
true.
mentality of the team, and it's exactly what's happening with this Chelsea team too. They already agree. They know if Collins is going to Arsenal, he already knows that his own team is trash. So let's bring on another team. Let us, misery loves company. Misery loves company. So they want to add everybody together to be. It is well. And this is
Uh,
the team that they have Man U. They have Man U
Next week.
in the weekend. They have Man
Yeah,
U,
yeah.
right? And come on, come on. You are on the
Uh,
verge of going to a conference league. Anyways, that's where you belong. That's where you belong. So there's no point.
well,
That's where you belong.
I mean, Collins, he has said a whole lot. And if we are being honest, I think it's the truth. The way Chelsea is going, it seems they can. I mean, apart from the Port Vale that they beat, they've not been able to beat any, EPL side in the last 3-4 games, and that tells. There is a particular Enzo Fernandez who is one of the best players of Chelsea. Because of disciplinary action, decided to stick him on the bench, and the result is not giving. The performance in the second half yesterday was disgraceful. In as much as you want to, I mean, there's a lot of banter as regards not wanting Arsenal to win the league. But I mean, it's also the responsibility of Chelsea to show up and give a good account of themselves, especially playing at home. That did not happen. What do you think is the issue with Chelsea? Apart from the fact that you don't want Arsenal to win the league.
Okay. Let me start by saying Solomon compared Chelsea to Spurs, and I feel very insulted comparing Chelsea to Spurs. If you know, if you know how much I don't rate Spurs, I hate that. No, I don't hate them, right? I just detest them. You know, I detest the team because they are rubbish. That's why I detest Spurs. And Solomon compared Chelsea to Spurs. Wow, that's wonderful. He also said we are going to the Conference League. Meanwhile, we have two Champions League. Arsenal have zero. And yeah, sure. About that, okay. Um, honestly, after that match yesterday, right? After that match yesterday, I was happy, right? I was happy because when you look at it on paper, you understand. Once if Man City wins their game in hand,
Hold on,
it
hold on.
becomes let's
You're
just say
happy
if they
that you lost, or you're happy about the performance. What are you happy about? You're happy that you're not going to the Champions League. You are going to Conference League. What are you happy about?
okay, I'm happy because I want Arsenal not to win the league because we looked at it. Chelsea fans were happy. Listen, Chelsea fans were happy. Chelsea fans were happy for one reason yesterday, right? We've all agreed. We've all agreed that this team, this team we're looking at. Remember, the last time I was here that you were asking the 7-0 against Port Vale, is it a turning point? I said no, it's not.
Yeah, you said
I
it
said
that
that's
time.
a fluke,
You
right?
said it.
I said because of I said no, that's not a turning point. That's rubbish because
You said
that
it.
team
That's true.
at the last in League One, And I also said if I organize boys to beat those. So those things, I
You
didn't
said
count
it.
that. So
You said it.
that's me saying that. I said that from a defeated angle. You understand? Chelsea fans are defeated. See, there is nothing. If you watch Chelsea games, if at all we even manage to create one or two things, that defense is rubbish. That defense is porous.
Hmm.
We make silly mistakes every time. Chelsea
Hmm.
fans are defeated. You cannot find one single motivated Chelsea fan.
Hmm.
You understand? So whatever happens this season happens.
Hmm.
The only thing I'm looking at, the only positive I'm looking at is the FA Cup we can even win. You understand?
Okay.
That is what I'm looking at. I'm hoping Southampton can do something to City, and maybe we can end up with more trophies than after this season. It's possible, right? Um, so me, Chelsea fans, you cannot tell me that every Chelsea fan, majority of the Chelsea fans that were happy yesterday, they did it for us. Yes, if there was a glimmer of hope, if there was a glimmer of hope, what was there? But come on, there was no glimmer of hope anyway. Even at that, one match is something we can sacrifice. We are beating Man U next week. You understand? One match is something we can sacrifice because we're just 4 points. We are just 4 points below Liverpool, and we are 7 point. We are 4 points below Liverpool and 5 points below Aston Villa. So that's reachable. You understand? The only thing that is worrying me are the things that Everton are 2 points, no, 1 point behind us. Sunderland are 2 points behind us, and that's the problem. That's the only problem I had. But let me be honest with you. Let me be honest with you guys. After that match yesterday, I went to the EPL table and I started like this. I said, yeah, this happiness, is it worth it? If Arsenal later win this league, it doesn't make sense.
You can see.
And then I was like, if Arsenal later win this league, it doesn't make sense because I checked the table. We are sixth. Thanks to Arsenal, we have 5 spots now, right? And the 5 spots no, they even reach us. We are sixth, and we are 4 points behind the fifth. You understand? So in as much as Chelsea fans were happy yesterday, now only me, like now only me go back go check table because after the happiness and everything, one of us had to come to our senses. I came to my senses. I was like, wait, let me go back first. I checked the table, and what I was seeing was no that smile right in my face. Now once it wiped because it was looking real. You understand? It was looking real. You understand?
Oh
So
goodness.
I believe that once we win Man U next week at Stamford Bridge, and Stamford Bridge is not Stamford Bridge anymore, but at least I'm hoping that something can happen. You understand? So once we win Man U next week, that's the turning point. I believe that. I definitely believe that. And that's what we're going to start our comeback. You understand? Our fight. The hope now is to finish fifth because Liverpool are not that strong. They're not, I don't know how Liverpool managed and beat 1. You understand? But they converted their chances. I think that's what happened, right? So if if we can beat Manchester United next week, that's a big hit because they've only lost one game under Michael Carrick.
Yeah,
You understand?
that's true.
So if we can beat
Against
them, that's
Newcastle.
the turning point.
So quick
Yes,
one.
that's the turning point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
You know, that part where you said you now came to your senses, that was exactly what I was expecting from Chelsea yesterday. Liverpool had won against Fulham. If Liverpool did not win, it was a different conversation. Do you understand? Liverpool had won against Fulham. So it meant that all you needed to do, even if you could not win City, even if you could not win, don't lose miserably like that.
True.
Don't do that was all I was expecting, right? And then you just felt like a pack of cards, and that's fine because as I said, you are closer to 10th than you are to the fourth position or even the fifth. I'm serious. No, to be honest, because here's the thing: PSG will knock out Liverpool.
Obviously.
PSG will knock out Liverpool, right? And now Liverpool have only the Premier League to face to qualify to the Champions League, and that is the one thing. That is the one thing that will either save Arne Slot's job or will sack him.
True.
If he fails to qualify for the Champions League, I'm sure
He's
he will
gone.
be gone.
He's gone.
I'm
Sure.
sure he's gone. Do you understand? So it means that once he's knocked out on Tuesday, in fact, that match on Tuesday itself is just memorandum.
Formality.
Just gonna play. Do you understand? Once he gets knocked out on Tuesday, he's already out of the FA Cup. There's nothing else he's looking out for. He's going to focus. And then you now have a boy, Rio Ngomona, who is very, very hungry at the moment.
True.
That boy is very, very hungry. I have seen that boy since that match against Wolves. When he took out that boy against Wolves, I said he made a mistake. This was the
True.
only boy that was pressing, that was trying as much as possible to go up front to, make the difference. And he made the difference in the match against Fulham. So there's so much at stake. The next 6, 7 matches, they are finals for everybody.
That's
And
true.
when I say everybody, I mean everybody, because Everton, Brentford, those teams, they are also trying as much as possible to get into Europe.
It's more
So
money for
nobody
them.
now is giving anybody 3 points.
True.
Nobody's giving anybody 3 points. If we even look at the relegation line, West Ham want to continue to win. Nottingham Forest want to continue to win because Tottenham are now 18th position.
True.
Even with the signing of Roberto De Zerbi, right?
Deserve.
So much is at stake for all of the teams. All of the teams. So much is at stake, and it will be an interesting 1 month. The next 1 month will be very, very, very interesting. I tell you, very, very interesting.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anytime we are trying to have fun, time usually starts running. We are almost running out of time. It's always amazing having you guys, chit chat about football. We didn't really get to the other things we wanted to talk about. The Chelsea, Liverpool, the Chelsea, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal feud took a lot of the time, but it's always amazing having you guys here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you, Collins. And I wish your team all the best.